everybody. We got a lightning news flash tonight here on Camera Way. My wife pointed this out to me a little bit earlier today, and I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. I really.
Can you dig it?
I'll take this off of
Can
here.
you dig it?
Because, I mean, this is something we got to know. Jakey Lee, so the headline says former guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne, but it's Jakey Lee. You don't even need to know any more than that. Shot multiple times in Las Vegas. Legendary guitarist who was out walking his dog in the early hours of the morning is fully conscious and expected to fully recover. This is a story from Fox News, Christina Dugan Ramirez and Larry Fink. So this is today. Jakey Lee, a guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne, Badlands, and Red Dragon Cartel, was shot multiple times in Las Vegas on Tuesday. He is expected to fully recover, according to a spokesperson. In the statement to Fox News Digital, Lee's rep said, as confirmed by management, legendary rock guitarist Jakey Lee was shot multiple times early this morning in a Las Vegas, Nevada street shooting. Lee is fully conscious and doing well in an intensive care unit at a Las Vegas hospital, the statement continued. He is expected to fully recover. Let me see here. Okay. I got some of these things are a little doubled up here. Las Vegas authorities believe the shooting was completely random and occurred while Lee took his dog out for a walk in the early morning hours, the statement continued. As the incident is under police investigation, no further comments will be forthcoming. Lee and his family appreciate respecting their privacy at this time. Also, the rep said Lee is fully conscious, as they said. And then I think there's a little bit of an update. Representative for the Las Vegas Police Department confirmed the shooting when reached by Fox News. On October 5th, approximately 2 p.m., 2:42 a.m., Las Vegas, the police department officers responded to a shooting incident in the 11,000 block of Alora Street. The statement read, officers arrived and located a male victim suffering from apparent gunshot wounds. The male was transported to the hospital. No arrests have been made. At this time, this is an ongoing investigation. So yeah, let me see here. I think I've got just a skosh more here to read. Let me get this. Shoot. It was one of the statements at the bottom of this story, a reply to this story from Man of Four 5 hours ago. My brother and I were in a horrific ATV rollover that left me banged up and landed my critically injured brother in the ICU at University Medical Center in Las Vegas. We were essentially residents of the ICU waiting room for almost 3 weeks. In all that time, we witnessed a steady daily stream of gunshot victims come through there. Often, the ambulances arrived with full police escorts there to either arrest the victim or protect the victim and the rest of us from whatever group or individual that had tried to kill them. The doctors told us that many military doctors did their internships at UMC because so many of the injuries that passed through the emergency room were exactly like battlefield injuries, and it's only gotten worse since then. The phrase whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas can sometimes refer to a person's life itself. I started in getting ready for this, I went ahead and threw on the Red Dragon Cartel stuff and was listening to that, but I don't know, man. I'm not a guy that likes to throw down on the fear on the state of affairs, but people got to stop acting a twat. It's not good. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's in certain ways, I know that there's this element of the old west going on out there, and it's not healthy. I'm gonna pour me something. I need a beverage here. Nothing too crazy tonight, just a root beer and a little bit of AC/DC. You gotta love that. Flick of the switch. What a great record that is. Um, not not the greatest, production value on there, but a good follow up to for those about to rock. I think that was an AC/DC and Vanda Brothers um, production. But crazy state of affairs. Let's take a look at some of these here. This is a great classic early shot of Jake Ely in the 80s when we got to know him when he was playing for Ozzy. There's a later shot. Here's a shot with Ozzy back in the day. This is like Ultimate Sin time frame right there. I was fortunate enough to see Jake Ely, and I could have put this album cover up there, but he didn't play on it. When the Speak of the Devil album came out, then he played on the tour. So Diary of a Madman came out, Randy Rhoads died, then they picked up Brad Gillis, who then said, hey, can we tour together, Night Ranger and Ozzy? I'll play both gigs. And they were like, no, you can't do that, or we're not going to have that happen. So then Brad went on. He did that tour that they recorded the album, the live album, but then Jake E. Lee came in after that and then did the tour for Speak of the Devil. And I saw that in Peoria. Great show. Jake E. Lee was fantastic on stage. He had a war with his guitar, just like he does in those videos. Check out those live videos that, because I know they have like the Ultimate Sin tour on video. I think I might have ordered that. I'm not so sure about the quality of that album recording, or the video at least, is what I'm saying. But anyway, so Bark of the Moon, of course, being the first one, and this is all controversial. He was going to be coming. There was a call put out to Jake a while back here, and he said, well, yeah, I might think about that. Can we think about putting my writing credit back, or put my writing credit into Bark at the Moon? And then Sharon, I guess, said, well, I'll call you back on that. And she never did. So here's a newer shot of Jake, probably not right up to today, but classic shot here. So yeah, then we were looking at Bark at the Moon. Then I still really, now I know it's in here, isn't it in here? I know I put it in here. La 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 la. Where did it go? Did it get shifted somehow? I don't know. That's weird. But that's really strange. I don't know why. Why is my computer messing with me? God only knows. All right, here it comes. We'll put this in here. So I fell in love with this record too. What a great, and of course it's a great album cover. A piece done by Boris Vallejo where he put in Ozzy's face there on the winged dragon beast. So that was really an amazing record. Kevin Beamish, I think, did the Kevin Beamish did the production on that. But a great record. That's got some great songs on it. Now, I had my classic discussion about this album with Joe from Joe's Records, and he was like, "This is a great album," and I told him about my argument I had with a friend of mine over it. Now, I also see that there's something else that didn't come in here, because some of my other favorite albums from back in that time frame. Let's see here. There it comes. Were this band Badlands. Then he jumped from Ozzy, went over and started Badlands. And you see Eric Singer there. next to him, who would later go on to be in Kiss and do a smashing job for them as well. They put out a few releases though. Badlands put out 3, and here is Voodoo Highway. That album cover is a John Taylor Dismukes album cover, one of my favorite artists. And then it put out Dusk, which is not one that everybody followed through. I don't know that if you're a big Badlands fan, you know about Dusk. Sometimes you may not have heard of it. So, So anyway, if you haven't heard it, check it out. And he had his solo albums, Retraced here, and then also A Fine Pink Mist, and then would start up Red Dragon Cartel. And I love this logo. It's so cool. And then they would have 2 albums to date, the self-titled and then Patina. I'm listening to Patina at the moment. It's awesome. It's fantastic stuff. So so Jakey Lee doing good, should be able to recover, and we'll see what happens. But we lost track of Jake for many years, and that was just kind of sad to not have heard from him for so long. But I was glad he got back in the game and started making music, because he's been one of my favorites, and I think that's a rough part when so many fans love these guys and they just don't always know that people are looking for them and that are wanting it. Drew's in. Let's go. Metal Torso. Hello. How's it going? My volume is low. Oh, I know why. Thank you for letting me know. And this will make it better. Thank you. God, I should have looked at that sooner. I had a little bit of a mishap here, and I didn't even change anything around. I was in such a hurry to get going. Thank you. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Oh man. Yeah. So everything should be good. Hopefully he'll be back in, and hopefully they can get things straightened out. It's a crazy world out there sometimes. Just again, this is a quick lightning news flash. So I do have something new to show you guys. Here we go. I ordered a couple of. It is Halloween month, right? So let me just review some of these with you. Here's some of the movies that I'm going to watch that are kind of music centric to horror. There we go. We've got The Crow, which isn't necessarily a horror movie, but it is, it's got its, bent into that. Then we have one of my favorites that I watch every year, and now I just got to figure out when I'm going to watch it. Phantom of the Paradise. What a great movie. It's so cool. If you've never seen it, watch it. And then here's the original name for this one, called Ragman, which we all know it as Trick or Treat. So this has, you can see it has both names on it there. I love it. Had to get that on Blu-ray a few years ago. Remember this one? I told you about Suck. Definitely have to see that one. So I started watching that one the other day, and I got to finish it, but I had to finish Phantasm, and I'll tell you why. This one isn't so music centric, but a great horror film. Halloween. John Carpenter, the original man. Halloween, what's that say? Halloween is an absolutely merciless thriller. I would compare it to Psycho. Roger Ebert. Wow. There you go. This one is this is a music centric one because of the soundtrack. Is The Lost Boys. And also, let's face it, it's got Tim Cabello in it doing I Still Believe. So they go to a concert in the show. Following up Halloween though, I got to watch Halloween 3. I did buy this. I'm giving it another shot because we were a little disappointed back in the day because you had 1 and 2 with Mike Myers, and then you had 3 and had no Mike Myers. What was up with that? What was up with that? It's crystal clear now. Thank you, Drew. Appreciate you letting me know. Yeah, The Crow is a great movie. It's a lot of fun. And just it's fun. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Lost Boys, another classic. Yes. Great cast. A great cast, a great script. I mean, you just look back on some of those and you just like, that's how you do a movie right there. That's, you know, now this one is one I have to watch still. Jeff got this for me a while back, and I still have to watch Manos Hands of Fate. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. Here's one of my other favorites. Great movie, House. If you've never seen this, it ranks right up there with Lost Boys and Fright Night and well, I'd say Suck, because Suck is in that same vein. You know what? It would be fun to see a Spinal Tap horror movie. Of course, for some, that movie is a horror movie. Here's another one, Funhouse. I told you about this one. The novelization of this was done by Owen West, who would later go on to be, what did I say? Why can't I think of his name now? Did Watchers. I'll think of it. That's so terrible. I can see the book. Here's another one I really enjoy. 28 Days Later. Going to be watching that one too. But here you go. This one is one. It's a fantasy flick, right? But there's a lot of horror in this too. There's one of the storylines that you guys remember when you think about this movie. There's science fiction and horror in here, and that is heavy metal. Because a lot of the creatures and things in that are kind of horrific, and some of them are kind of Twilight Zone-ish in a way, and they're kind of horror Twilight Zone. Like when the one guy parachutes into that kind of that air that war graveyard of planes. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good. All right. Halloween is a good film. Just don't look at it as part of the Halloween movies. Oh yeah, you mean Halloween 3? Like Halloween 3? It's I have House but haven't watched it. What? You have it, but you haven't watched it? Hey, we could do that together. We could watch it. You loved the book Funhouse, Far Out. Yeah, I did too. Why can't I think of the guy's name? Why can't I think of his Dean Koontz? Owen West, that was his early pen name. And then of course, he went with Dean Koontz. Saw 28 Days Later in the theaters, changed my view of horror films. Yeah, it was so good. It's so good. Heavy metal is fantastic. Speaking of soundtrack, I mean, you're talking about Black Sabbath, Blue Oyster Cult, Trust, Cheap Trick, Nazareth, Don Felder, Stevie Nicks, Journey. I mean, geez whiz. It's crazy. Coming out with 28 years later. Interesting. It's on your backlog. Oh, get on it. Yeah, House is a fun movie. House 2, terrible. So won't spend that long. I mean, who am I, Drew? I've got books that I bought in high school and I've still never read them. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, I was watching Phantasm. Have you guys seen Phantasm? That's the big question too. If you haven't seen Phantasm, do it. And remember, I did that quick little deep dive with that photo where he goes to his nightstand. The younger brother, Michael, I guess, goes to his nightstand, and there is a paperback on its side, and it was Roger Zalanzi. My Name is Legion was the book, and of course he wrote Damnation Alley. Just a quick review on that too. It is a memorable film. So, there. See? Thanks. That's awesome. Phantasm is a movie where you can, uh, you can, if you saw it years ago, it can be something nostalgic to you and remain a great something. Because I will admit, I love the idea and the storyline within Phantasm. It probably gets. I haven't seen two, three, four, five. I haven't seen all of those. I'm going to, and we'll get to that in just a minute before I go here. Um, but uh, but it's one of those that if you loved it when you watched it when you were younger, but it doesn't always hold up today. It's a little eh, because they don't. Everything doesn't get fleshed out. You see what's happening, but you don't know what's happening. You're like, okay, I see that this is happening and that these things go there and that's where they exist now. But there is no explanation whatsoever about any of it. You just see the big bad guy and that's it. Hi, I'm the big bad and I'm going to be after you. And you're like, well, why? Why are you doing this? I don't know. Yeah, the tall man made the movie. Well, the tall man and the woman made the movie. Um, but here's another thing. Here's another quick review for you too. We did watch the latest um, adaptation of Salem's Lot. We watched that the other day, and I texted my friend and let her know because she's a big Stephen King fan as well. My wife is too, and and so I was texting her and I said, "Hey, we're watching this, new uh, version of Salem's Lot, which I guess is it the third or the fourth version that they've done of that, um, and it's 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 pretty good until you start getting to the end. Then you're like, oh, mama, come on, my wife read a review of it and said that it was seemed like it was rushed, and that's the way it felt because you're at a certain point in the show and you're like, come on, just do this, and they weren't doing it. And you're like, I don't get it. But yeah, so that's where it seems like it's a little rushed because you're just like, okay, you get to this point, and if they'd have just taken instead of just doing it all at once, if they'd have done it in three parts and done it really well, like remember Sherlock with Cumberbatch? I mean, those were every one of those shows. There was three shows in every season, and each one was like a movie. It was a movie length. There was a buck and a half, pretty much each time. So if they'd have done like three of those, that would have been great because then they would have really kind of fleshed it out a bit and let some of the actors really do a great job. They had some great actors in the show. So I'd say watch it. It's fun. It's scary. It's well done. It's just you're going to get into a part of the show and you're going to go, if you're a thinker about your movies, you're going to be like, okay, whatever. Why aren't they just doing this? Um, so anyway, so leading those movies all lead me to this moment. Let's get back to the package, shall we? So what do we have? Well, to fill in, I'm going to show you this one first, even though the other one is the one that kind of led me to it. But I already showed you two of these films, but I had to get the second one. I didn't have Halloween 2. So a lot of hospital thrills on that one. This is the 30th anniversary edition on Blu-ray. So I'm looking forward to watching all three of those. I don't think I'm just going to watch three. I got to watch the first two. But here's what got me into it. Just recently, I listened to the the Justin Hawkins interview, the last interview they did with Rolling Stone, um, and it just got me thinking. And I don't know if it came up during the show recently, but I went ahead and bought it. It was, if you guys want to pick this up, it's entertaining. And I thought Justin Hawkins, I thought he was such a great great personality. He was a. It's 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 rough when uh, we have a talent, and he was multi-talented, and he had a lot of friends, and he was a really what I could see when I see interviews with him or hear him, I'm like, I'd like to sit down and talk with that guy. I could hang out with that guy. But there was a lot of insecurities there. Um, and but anyway, I was thinking about him, and this came up. It was only $10, guys, on Blu-ray. So Studio 666 with the Foo Fighters, and it's a lot of fun if you haven't seen it. So music centric, that'll go back here on the shelf with the rest. So there we go. And then lastly, let's take, before I do this, the other movies kind of fill in the story. I kind of thought so. It's kind of like Frozen and Frozen 2. I'm like, Frozen is not a great movie. And then they put out Frozen 2, and that's when my son's like, oh, well, it pretty much explains it. I go, well, that's fine and all, but you shouldn't have to have a second movie to explain the first movie, right? So Salem's Lot was over 3 hours and cut much of it out. Yes. You talk about like the original. That was a fun one. I have that too. We didn't watch that one this year yet, but I like it. That's because I like the book. Yeah. Yep. And I'd like to read the book. We have that. We have all pretty much all the Stephen King books. It's when we find out Michael is Laurie's brother. Yes, 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 yes. I am your brother. New one was over 3 hours. Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. And so is the original too, because it was a mini series. I think it was 2 nights or three. I think it was 2 nights. So the one with David Soul starts totally different. Some of the characters have been shifted around a little bit, which is fine. I think they did a great job. Again, I thought the characters were fun. I thought that the acting was good. I liked the characters. It's just like I say, it just got rushed. That was all, you know. So anyway, but yeah, good storyline. I'd look forward to reading it one day. It won't be anytime soon, I can tell you that, because I've got so many other books to read before that. And the War to End All Wars continues with the house. So we moved on with a couple of more things today, and we're looking to be wrapped up here in probably a month or so. So that's pretty cool. I'm really excited about that. Um, let's see, tomorrow, to let you know before I go, tomorrow on Wednesday, October 16th, on our regular Hammer Away session, we got Wayne Stokely from Prophets of Addiction. I'll be getting that posted up tonight. And then also probably posted up tonight, I'm going to get Stuart Corden of Blitz is going to be hanging with me, and we're going to finally start that discussion on Phantasm, because he loves them all and he's got the box set. So we're going to start with part one, because I haven't watched the other ones yet. So I did finished watching the first one, and I do need to probably, I don't know, probably late night tomorrow or something. I'm going to take some notes on the show. So, and we'll have a big discussion on that. So, so Wayne Stokely from Prophets of Addiction tomorrow. And then Stuart Corden of Blitz on Thursday. We'll probably do that Central Time. It's probably going to be just after lunchtime. So keep your eyes open for that. And should be a lot of fun. I can't wait to talk to Stuart about this Phantasm stuff. It's going to be great. I won't say that it's going to rank right up there with me and Pete talking about Rise of Skywalker, but that's the way that goes. So anyway. Oh, I'm so sorry. Wait, before I do go, hold on. I do have one more thing to talk to you about. So the other night, it was really exciting. I was reminded through Facebook, because I saw a King's X post with Doug Pinnick saying that they were at the airport getting ready to take off on their flight to St. Louis. So I was like, oh, shoot, that's happening. Oh my God, it's happening already. This was Thursday. And so then they were here on Friday at the Diamond Music Hall. So Diamond Music Hall has been a great place for all kinds of great shows that we've had here, whether it be a regional act like, say, the Rumors, Midnight Devils that I've had on the show quite often, who just returned from a UK tour and ended in Norway. They've played there a couple of times, but we've also had Lynch Mob, and now we had King's X there. Burning Witches was there, um, and I mean, ton Angels been there, and a bunch of others, great bands that have been there. Well, this time King's X was there, and Vinnie Moore opened up. I don't know if you're familiar with Vinnie Moore. If you're not, he's a smoking guitar player that came out of the. He had a rise started in '86 with an album Mind's Eye, and I will show you that shortly here. So here he is on stage at the Diamond Music Hall, and doing a great job. Unfortunately, I showed up a little late for the show. I didn't know that I was going to. I didn't pay attention to it, but I baked up some brownies for King's X, and there you go. There's his bass player. Great bass player with his geezer shirt on. There's his other guitar player and vocalist. He has some vocal tunes on the new album. And there's the full stage there. This stage was built out. It wasn't this large when they first opened the venue, and I played on that stage. I did the open jam nights there. So when I showed up, he was doing a song from Earth Shaker. Is that what was? No, is that the name? No, Meltdown is the name of the album. And he was doing Check It Out. A great song. There you go. I'm not the greatest with my phone. I don't always get the greatest of pictures, but they come out pretty cool. I'm not fully ashamed of them. And there we are afterwards. So, and here's a couple of shots of the same one, me and Vinny there. And there it is, the Mind's Eye album. I had him finally, after all these years, I had him sign it. And you can see the Meltdown album, the CD cover is inside the plastic there at the bottom. So I finally, I was like, wait, can we do one more picture? Because I got to get a picture with you with that Mind's Eye album. So good. Tommy Aldrich on drums, guys, just after he had left Ozzy and kind of prior to Whitesnake. And he did this album. And in the song called Saved by a Miracle, he's got a drum solo right in the middle of it. And oh, dear God, it's great. And there's King's X. There you go. By the time I got done talking to Vinny, I mean, King's X started, and then I was way back. So the people had poured into where I normally would be. So there you go. There's the stage there. It's a really nice stage with this beautiful screen back in the back that they can put the artwork on. Here's afterward. I didn't know that they were going to do anything. And then you could just kind of lined up on the side. And Ty Tabor was not there, but Jerry was there, and also Doug was there. Doug and I had a nice little talk. I was doing some reminiscing about how I saw them in 1989, and it was pretty cool. And because I saw him downtown on the landing, it's really neat. So I got done talking to Doug, and he's going to be back on the show sometime here soon down the line. So should be great. It should be really cool. But yeah, I got finished up there with talking to him, and I'm like, all right, well, I'll let you get to it and everything. He's like, all right, man. And he threw out his arms and gave him a big hug, and it was great. It was a great night. They sounded fantastic. And I was talking to my buddy, Johnny, from the Diamond, and he said they loved the brownies. They destroyed them, he said. So thanks, Metal Torso. I appreciate that. So yeah, so there you go. So there you go. There's the Phantasm right there. And it's it should be kind of cool. In the end of the movie, there's the big cliffhanger. So I don't know if they address that in the second movie, so I'm looking forward to finding out. and everything. So let's keep our eyes open on some of the news. I'll see if there's anything new on Jakey Lee tomorrow. I'll keep my eyes on that, and you guys just keep him in your thoughts. I'm sure he is going to be just fine, and I look forward to hearing about that soon. And hopefully one of these days things will start. People will drop acting a fool so much, and maybe we'll finally get back to or get into something where life is a little sweeter. Remember, when you walk out your door every day, you're not in everybody else's world. Wait a minute, how is it? You're in everybody else's world, they're not in yours. And that's how this kind of shit happens. So, all right. So be cool. Have a wonderful rest of the week. And that includes me tomorrow afternoon. So check in, and then check in on Thursday when I'm with Stuart Gordon to Bliss. Take care, guys.